Subscribe to Dave's Multiverse on YouTube, Spotify, and
Sponsored by Spores MD for your personal mind-body wellness journey.
All right, greetings, humans. We are live on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Twitch for some reason. Got my buddy Jason Shaman 711 here. How's it going today, buddy?
Dave? Going well, man. Going well. I got a dog at my feet. I'm trying to move, but I'm doing really well today, man. How's your day been?
Not bad, not bad. Very productive.
Does it have you in the mood to talk UFOs, or disclosure might be a better word for it?
I think so. You know, I sat on this topic for a while. I mean, these came out last week. We were going to do this on Friday. No, maybe it was Sunday. And then I was like having a day where I was like, you know what? I don't feel like doing anything, and that's okay. And so I sent you a message saying, hey, let's do this a different day. And I actually did want to sit on it a little bit because I wanted to see everyone's reaction. I also...
Been interesting. No, keep going. Just that it's been interesting, as you say, to use that time to look at some of the reads that people are throwing out. Yeah,
and I actually didn't go through all the files until today myself. And we're actually going to do that today, everyone. We're going to go through all the documents, manila folders from the FBI, from the military, all kinds of stuff. There's 144 of them. We're going to flip through them pretty quickly because, you know, some of them are hard to read. Some of them it's hard, but there's a clear, like every single one of them says something about unidentified flying objects, UFOs, flying saucers, and no UAPs, because that term didn't get coined until like a few years ago. But right. That's what they call them in these apparently official documents. So, yeah.
I'm excited. It sounds like the game plan is to give everybody a pretty solid look at what has been put forth by the U.S. government thus far in this process they're terming disclosure, which I'm very curious to do. Like I said, it's been nice to sort of just soak in other people's reads, some people that I normally take into account, and others just, you know, junk, to sort of get a general feel for everybody. So I'm looking very much forward to examining, however quickly we have to because of the amount, but just getting a grips for our own eyeballs on what it is that's been put forth.
Yeah, man. And we're also going to go through the FBI photos, the NASA photos, the NASA audio, and most of the videos that have been released. We're just going to look at them all today. I wanted to shout out the chat.
Apollo 17. What's up, chat?
I think so. We got Kay in the chat. I know that. Oh, there's Tammy. What's up, Tammy? From Hudson Valley. I know Claire with blue hair was in there earlier.
Oh my, we do have a populated chat. There we go.
Yeah, we got some people watching.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining. First, going to do a couple quick promos. Sponsored by Spores MD. I've got a little project going on where this is completely legal mushroom growing. And I injected this bag with spores about 6 weeks ago, and it's populating with mycelium of completely legal mushrooms. Nothing psychedelic in there.
Shiitake, right?
Shiitake, heirloom. You know, I got an heirloom one upstairs.
It's that heirloom shiitake that they call teacher or something, right? It's like golden no, it's that's it. Golden teacher.
Yeah. Golden teaching shiitakes. But it's super easy. It's a fun little project. You can you get
that sounds like a nightmare at the sushi buffet is what that sounds like.
Yeah, you get a little syringe with spores. You get a grow bag, you inject it, you wait about 4 to 6 weeks, then it starts like populating with mycelium. Then you break the bag up a little bit, and then it starts spreading through the whole bag. And it's just a fun little science project, you know. And you get some food afterwards.
You've got your own little microenvironment there, and you're creating your off the grid bag to table food.
Exactly. And second, I just wanted to shout out my editor, Alexander Cheshkovich, Forgotten Civilization. Actually, that's Robert Schock, damn it, Rom. The exact same color. That's hilarious. I just pulled it off my shelf quick, but Alexander Cheshkovich, it's back there somewhere. I don't know where I put it. But yeah, he wrote an outstanding book. The link is in the description. And it's, you know, about how ancient civilization might be much older than we think. So go ahead and check it out. I'm blanking on the freaking.
Yeah, and thanks for the beautiful thumbnail art while Dave looks for where you set your book.
Yeah. There we go. There, let's find him here. I gotta get the actual book. It is called Deja Vu. Gosh, I've literally read the book and said that 4,000 times. Deja Vu Has Everything Already Been by Alexander Cheshkovich. Support the show by checking out.
Seems like I remember you forgetting it before. So that's Deja Vu. Okay, now we won't ever forget the title again. Okay.
Yes. And so get some spores, link in the description. Oleg's book, link in the description. Like and subscribe to Dave's Multiverse. Like and subscribe to Shaman 711 on YouTube. So look, guys, for decades we've been told UFOs were nothing but campfire stories, tinfoil hat conspiracies, and blurry photos that never quite added up. At the same time, Hollywood and television has been absolutely flooding us with the idea that they're real. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, X-Files, I Want to Believe, got my poster back there. You know, it's on bumper stickers and coffee mugs. We've all grown up wanting to believe. But
that poster emotionally triggers me, and in a good way.
It does me too, you know. But what if someone knows that we all want to believe and they're using it against us? Tonight, we're cracking open something different. Hundreds of pages of actual declassified government files, FBI manila folders stamped "Do Not Destroy," military mission reports that literally say observed and unidentified aerial phenomenon, astronaut transcripts, and more. Is this the...
Oh, no.
While the world burns with war and geopolitics? I'm skeptical, but after seeing what's inside these folders, I'm also genuinely curious. So let's dig in. What do you think? Just off the top of your head, is this disclosure? Is this what we've been waiting for? What is this?
Off the top of my head, before we ever even look into it, my intuition these days reminds me, Dave, that for a very long time, generations most likely, the government has, or entities involved with the government, we should say, has fought very hard. And from the stories one can easily find, it seems like they have ruined lives, be that mentally, psychologically, or in fact, murderously. Anybody that was, near to this topic, right? So for me to suddenly decide to believe that that's just going to end today because they decided it would and it be earnest and genuine, no, that's not my go-to, dude.
Yeah.
That's why I want to look at it. That's why I'm truly intrigued to look at it, because it's not my default these days, bro.
Yeah, man. There's this meme that's been going around. I should have pulled it up, but it's this like government-looking guy with a mask on, and he's like, "Hey, disclosure's happening," and the other guy's like, "Yep." And then he's like, "Aren't you excited or interested?" And the other guy goes,
impressed?
"Are you not impressed?" Yeah, and he's like, "Nah, I got too much stuff going on,
You got a bunch of stuff going on, man.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Like, I've been into this subject since I was a kid.
I think that was Dan Richards that shared that.
Yeah, and for some reason, like, this doesn't feel like it. And Rue, to answer your question, we are going to go through everything. It might be a little bit of a long journey here, probably a couple hours to check out everything. But we're going to go through every single file, every single video, every single picture.
I got the candles lit, Rue, in case, you know, the power goes out. We're here for the long haul, ready to go. And there might be a few body breaks, but no, I'm excited. Thanks for showing up, Rue, and hope you're well. And everyone else that showed up. I see you, KD123. Thanks for the like and subscribe.
Oh, she gave you a like and subscribe?
One of us, you know, so either one is appreciated.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and not only that, she encouraged others to do the same, and her words were, because it's free. So she has an excellent point. It is indeed.
So we're gonna go. It is indeed. We're gonna go through these Manila folders. They're apparently official FBI Central Records Center jackets for the master UFO case file. The covers themselves are administrative. They say "do not destroy" on it. They've got serial numbers, declassification stamp from 2007. There's substantive quotes from the actual reports, memos, and clippings inside the serial folders. Repeated mentions of unidentified flying objects from the 1950s and 60s. There's some wild stuff. There's also some stuff that's like genuinely hard to read. And we're just going to flip through these like as quick as possible. Because there's a lot of them, but I want you guys to keep your eye out for like stuff that mentions UFOs and UAPs. So here we go. Let's go.
Dave, as you start, and just a question for you on something you said, or more perhaps, I guess, a lead in, but to make sure I got it right. Your whole life, because you mentioned something about how all this feels to you, but your whole life, you've at least from my chatting with you, you've had an interest in this topic, right? It seemed like something you've gravitated towards intuitively, and now intuitively your read is this perhaps is BS. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's BS. I mean, I think what we're about to look at is like the real files, okay? But what it feels like to me, my intuitive response is just show them something interesting so that they look at this instead of looking at other stuff. And so let's go through this stuff. Let's see here. And can we see them all from here? Is that the full view? Is this better? What's better?
That's better for the audience. What you just had, I think. Well, that brings the document closer, bro.
It does, but it also cuts off some of it.
Yeah. Oh, well. So do you want them to be able to read it or see it all? Is your choice for my at-home view here?
Read it. Let's go. So, approximate. You can see here approximately the length of a passenger aircraft. White hot. Seemed to be white hot. The object displayed no lights, but seemed something encased in flames. Did not light up the area. Altitude of object 15 to 2,000 feet. They observed it from about 3.5 miles away. They said it was moving approximately 200 miles an hour. So that's weird. And these are like from the 50s and the 60s. Okay, guys. Let's see what we can see here. Standing on a little ridge facing south in the midst of a clearing, some 20 feet wide. It was too dark for hunting in the woods, but was sufficiently light for him to see the time by his watch at 0540 hours. Williams,
was looking to the south.
Yeah, traveling with something larger and in front. The front end appeared white hot again, like the metals in a something lantern.
Gasoline lantern?
Gasoline lantern, yep. Object made absolutely no noise and left no trail of any kind. It was traveling in a straight line from west to east. And yeah, there was no visible something, a propulsion, means of propulsion. It appeared to be 3/4 miles away and had an elevation of approximately 2,500 feet. So that's, again, I'm not going to read all these.
It looked like an ice cream cone. Did you read that part? That's what stands out to me on this page. That's
That's funny.
its shape. Its shape he described as an ice cream cone. Go ahead.
All right. So this is from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Something angler. Okay, that's just a date. Neon. So one employer, a pilot since 1928, not a hobby, saw objects glint while watching another aircraft, at least 100 to 150 feet in diameter, perfectly flat in appearance. Yeah, sighted in daylight, altitude approximately 25,000 to 30,000 feet. It was stationary at the time of sighting. About a 15 to 20-minute sighting there. That's weird.
That is very little movement, if any.
Yep. Let's see what we can check out here. This is 1948. Witness noticed something glint in the sun. Focusing his attention on the object, he perceived that it was perfectly white, neither transparent or translucent, and then it had no metallic sheen. It was perfectly circular. The side visible to something.
To him.
Being flat. Okay.
Much as a coin would appear when observed from a distance.
Wow. It appeared no larger than a dime, lining it up in relation to the toe tip of the radio tower. He backed off to the north. The object appeared clear out of the picture in relation to the tower. Approximately 30,000 feet at this altitude, the object would necessarily be about 100 to 150 feet in size in order to be visible at all. There were no projections, air trails, or exhaust of any kind. He called the object to the attention of this guy, his companion,
Fairchild.
but then went into, I don't know, these are hard to read, man.
A building, this one's hard. Transacted their business, and at the end of 8 minutes, they went outside and perceived the object in approximately the same position. From the time Angier first saw the object to his last observation was approximately 15 to 20 minutes. So we got a stationary white coin. Go ahead.
Rue, these files do not come with photos because they're from the 40s, 50s, 60s, but we are going to look at photos from the 90s and photos from NASA mission in the 60s. So there you go. And look, there's a lot of files here, so we're going to flip through them quick.
Oblong egg shape.
Yeah, oblong egg shape. That's interesting. 150 to 200 feet. Bright silvery object. Just saw a silver streak. 30,000 feet in altitude. Estimated it was moving 700 to 800 miles an hour. Weird.
Yeah, at only 7 miles from him. Odd.
Bright silvery oblong or egg-shaped object, which appeared to have a speed of 700 to 800 miles per hour. Sounds like this is still talking about.
Look at the very top. Did you pull that first sentence, Dave? That's worth it. Statement of Mr. John C. Fairchild does not tally with that of the first one, Angier. So they're saying that, I guess this is same incident and being described differently. That seemed important.
Yeah. Army colonel, formerly a veterinarian, presently employed at a meat inspector by California State Department of Agriculture, was observing an Army bomber when he observed an unknown object flying above the bomber, about the size of a 4-engine bomber, longer than wide. Altitude over a mile.
Translucent.
Yeah, interesting.
Dirty gray in color, right?
Weird.
1948.
Yeah, can you read the top of this?
The first sentence I can't because I can't see it, but I've got his companion, Mr. Bentham. If he were seeing things, Bentham substantiated the fact that there was an object above the bomber. Colonel Backens described the object as being approximately the size of a large four-engined bomber. It appeared undulating in shape, resembling an amoeba. Now that's interesting. The object appeared to have three appendages, forward and two aft, which seemed to be flapping or oscillating while the center portion remained stable. Colonel Baskins thought it was a mile or more above the bomber. In the center of the object, there appeared a round, dark circle, which in Colonel Baskins' opinion seemed to be above the main body of the object. Further, it appeared that the main part of the object was translucent and of a dirty gray color, and that the dark circular portion appeared to grow more dense in color as it approached the center. They're describing what sound like an amoeba, possibly meanders. That's a known sort of phenomenon a lot of people see, but it's more on your field of vision than actually, out there. But boy, yeah, that sounds like this dude's describing a floating amoeba, right? Because when you in 48, would they have been able to see the microscopic? When you look at a mitochondria, right, the little engine that's on it, it's like this little flapper, at the end, like a little boat engine, right? And that very much sounds like what he's describing here, translucent even.
Yeah, weird. That's a weird one. So appeared from observer's viewpoint to be 2 inches by 1 inch by 1 inch. Rectangular outline with sharp corners. Altitude very high, faster than any plane he had ever seen.
I like that. That's honest.
It was about at least 3 minutes. Horizontal flight, no noise. Seemed to be covered with translucent material. Left no exhaust or trail. That seems to be a theme. Flew out of sight, gradually falling from view. Seemed like a vegetable crate flying through the air. Interesting.
That one actually sounds so earnest. It sounds like what we'd say. How high was it? Fucking high. How fast was it? Faster than anything.
Yeah. On the 20. So this is 1948. Mr. Sylvester Bentham was talking to Colonel Bacons when the colonel called Bentham's attention to a single object in the sky. Object first appeared to the northeast and was moving faster than any airplane that Bentham had ever seen. Object appeared very high. Both Benkins and Bentham watched it for at least 3 minutes. It moved towards the northwest in a straight line at a constant speed, finally turning to the north and falling from view.
To Bentham, the object appeared to have a regular rectangular outline with sharp corners. It was buff or gray in color with several darker vertical lines like ribs. See the drawing attached. Object appeared like a vegetable crate flying through the air. What's up, Sarah? Flagellum. Thank you, my dear. With a translucent material. It made no noise, no exhaust or trail. Apparent size was approximately 2 inches by 1 inch by 1 inch. And now I wonder if they mean, is that from their perspective, I guess?
Yes, that's what I think. Yeah. Because I think it's better to say that than estimate how big you think it is, because you really don't know. You know what I mean? Right. So it's better to just say how big it looked like to you. So yeah. So what do we got here? Object not seen.
Not seen. Okay.
Very high altitude. Object not
felt.
Seen. Unlike any man-made known aircraft.
Noise or something, huh?
I've got. Can you read the top part for me?
So something came by at a terrific rate of speed. Witness states she has heard many planes but could not describe the sound of the object. Subsequent investigation of this incident reveals that, according to neighbors, Mrs. McDaniels possesses a vivid imagination and that the daughter was inclined to take after the mother. Neither of the neighbors heard any unusual noises in the vicinity.
Interesting. Here's another one. Seen intermittently, appeared 4 to 5 inches in diameter from observance viewpoint, 10 to 15 feet in diameter, bright silver, comparable to aluminum. No, is that aluminum in aircraft?
Correct.
Um,
Aluminium
round,
in aircraft. There you go. Yeah.
round or elliptical, 10,000 to 14,000 feet. Observed intermittently, one time for 4 seconds, another time for 10 seconds, the longest period. No maneuvering. Observed horizontal flight. So that is maneuvering, isn't it? No sound noticed. So they've been cataloging this shit for a while.
Yeah.
But like, here's what, like, you know, a lot of UFO, UAP sightings are just missed sightings. You know, they're like, people see something that they don't know what it is, so they report it. But there's a natural explanation for it. And in the 40s, 50s, like you can imagine, you know, people didn't have a whole lot of frame of reference of what they were looking at, right? So,
right.
Yeah. Can you
I
read
think
this one for me?
I think it's totally possible, Dave. That's why I mentioned when those one guys were describing the flagellum of the mitochondria, you know, it reminds me of a sight phenomenon I'm familiar with, and especially if you have no context. On the afternoon of 18 October 1948, at approximately 17:05 hours, Major Robert C. Drum stated that he had observed a strangely shaped, glistening object in the north sector of the sky, which was moving in a northeasterly direction at an estimated altitude of 10,000 feet. A stratus layer of clouds was situated above the object at an approximate altitude of 14,000 feet. The disk or disks were moving below this layer of clouds, in that it was noted that on 2 occasions that the highest formation of clouds was at a greater altitude than the object observed, and that the lower cloud formations blocked their vision of the observer, thus placing the object between the 2 cloud formations or levels. So that's how they got the height of it. Because of this lower broken cumulus clouds at a very low altitude, which was moving in a southwesterly direction, the major could not ascertain whether he saw the same disk 4 different times or 4 different disks. Over a period of 10 minutes, the disks were sighted 4 times. The longest period of observation was estimated as 10 seconds. The object or objects appeared bright silver in color and circular or elliptical in shape. No vapor or exhaust was present. No flame or lights were observed. No sound was heard. Speed estimate 200 miles per hour. By using this, Major Drum compared the disc with silver dollar slightly turned from a flat angle above eye level. We're seeing a theme here. It sounds like we're getting a lot of coins at eye level turned towards you slightly.
Yep. No, and with no exhaust, elliptical, that kind of thing. There's 144 of these guys, so we're not going to read them all off. We're just going to kind of get the vibe of what kind of documents they released. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so far I'm finding it interesting. You know, you can click some and then we can read some, but so far this seems like pretty interesting info. I've never actually read these. So
yeah, me neither. Well, I mean, I read some of them earlier today, but
what year? I was going to look it up. Chat. What year was Roswell? Do you know, Dave? If you don't, we'll let the chat handle that one for us.
1947, I think.
Was it? Okay. So, and these started, it seems like 48, right?
Yep. Okay. So we got a mysterious light here. Observer ground half mile from the Great Highway in Playgrounds. Let's see here. You got better eyes than me, man.
Observer was walking through the Golden Gate Park when he observed a mysterious light that illuminated the entire ocean. Insofar as he could see, he felt something like an electric arc, air quotes there, which seemed to have the power to lower his hand like a sack of shot, so like buckshot. Observer, I guess he felt like the gravity of it. Observer states that he is subject to bruises, and where the thing seemed to have contacted him, he noticed a bruise the following day that had not been there before. He stated that he couldn't find the courage to report the incident since he didn't believe anyone would believe the story. He does not wish a further investigation.
Interesting.
The account is very incoherent, and the observer apparently not well educated, as extremely unreliable account.
Okay, so chat. So far, what are you guys thinking about this stuff? This one's hard to read, and it's just opening. Their opening of it.
Yeah, we can click scan, and I'll try to sort of pay attention to, and if I see anything that really is like new.
One close enough to cause him to duck in order to avoid collision. This is a pilot. 1.5 feet long and 9 inches across. Silver or silvery white. Teardrop shape. Seemed fairly
Close.
yeah. Okay. I can't direction. I got this thing in my way because I'm clicking through it.
So all I can get is it starts with a few. A few came close enough to cause the pilot and co-pilot to duck, as it appeared red. They might come through the nose. Oh, it appeared as though they might come through the nose of the plane. Major Smart's anthology is as follows. Take about half gallon of water and dump it 200 yards in front of an approaching aircraft about 200 feet above it, with the water taking the shape of a teardrop. These objects appeared to travel in a straight line toward the aircraft and gradually descended, passing from view under the wing of the C-47. The apparent speed of these objects appeared quite high as they remained in view for only a second. They were sighted one at a time at intervals of 3 or 4 minutes. That's weird.
That is weird. I'm really glad you're here because I got kicked in the head like 10 years ago and had a retina detachment. And so my eyes aren't what they used to be. Kay says it's called playing chicken. I think these things do that a lot. Yeah. So on to the next one.
I like all. I mean, I don't know that what it tells us, but I like that all of these seem to have this translucent effect. This seems to be something that starts going missing from the accounts. So I don't know what that tells us about truth or falseness, but it is interesting that it's there because you don't hear that a lot these days.
Yeah, what I find interesting is these files like occupation or hobby, ship's captain. They make sure to like get the person's occupation, like education level, things like that. So this size of this object is 1/4 size of, what does that say to you? Full moon. Yeah, 1/4 size of a full moon. It was bright and round. Yep. Couldn't estimate the
speed, but it was in sight for 50 minutes.
Interesting. Okay.
Again, no sound, no nothing.
What does this say?
A bright object, similar in shape to the moon, but with a distinct bright center, was observed by the master of the SS Gulfport. The object gradually grew darker as daylight faded. Size was that of 1/4 of a full moon. It was traveling southeast by west first, bearing, and then they give their bearings as related to Greenwich Mean Time. Second bearing, third bearing, disappeared at 23:10 Greenwich Mean Time.
Weird. That one was from a military officer on a boat, ship's captain. Yeah. Let's see. Unknown aircraft appearing to be an airborne ruler.
I see radar, which
okay,
is strange, right?
Yeah. A shape could not be characterized, maybe.
He was a pilot and radar observer. So okay. Sorry, Dave.
No, you're good. Yeah, interrupt me all you want. Yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Sure.
Just read like the meat of this.
Sure. A cable reported that an unidentified aircraft was sighted both visually and by radar by the pilot and radar observer of an F-61 on the 15th of October, 1948. The observer believes it's possible that 2 unidentified aircraft were involved in the interception. The sightings occurred at night. However, there was sufficient moonlight to permit a silhouette to be discerned, although no details were observed. So he caught it on radar, and then he caught a silhouette. He could not gather size, could not gather what drove it. Again, no trails, no exhaust, no other aircraft, could not report the speed. Okay, it had a very high rate of acceleration and could go almost straight up or down. out of radar elevation limit. The object seemed cognizant of the whereabouts of the F-61 at all times, which might indicate that it carried its own radar equipment.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay. 20 feet long, 8 feet wide.
Wow.
That's huge. Broke up into numerous bright particles.
Yeah, or sparks.
A bunch of sparks with a tail. Yeah, that one's hard to read. Traveling. Say they saw a slowly traveling object which broke up into numerous bright particles over the town at 6 a.m. They said it was about 25 feet long and 8 feet wide and appeared to be a bunch of sparks with a tail. Okay, whatever. Orange flame colored, 6 feet long, round with tall one third, I guess, again, as long as the diameter of an object. See attached drawings.
Its luminosity was that of boiling sheets of flame.
Hopefully we have hopefully if you have attached drawings. From altitude of 5,000 to 10,000 feet. Estimated speed 3 times that of a jet aircraft. So this stuff is all like dudes in the 40s, 50s reporting this stuff in the FBI or whoever, taking notes, and they're kind of guessing and doing a lot of estimating and stuff.
A lot of military dudes, a couple of butchers thrown in for good measure. I did not get the baker or the candlestick maker's report yet.
Appeared extremely uneducated was that one guy.
That's the meth head today. That's their reports, right?
Seemed to follow a straight course in a horizontal altitude, losing very little altitude, no sound, southwest to northwest. Flame. Okay, all right.
This one did have an exhaust trail that were boiling sheets of flame. I love boiling sheets. Why sheet? I've never heard sheets of flame. That's a new combo for me.
Yeah. What do we got here? It's hard for me to
Okay,
read.
so object was sighted from 13th and Lake Street in Minneapolis at 7th and 4th. Minneapolis by Lawrence A. Hansen, teletype operator, and Harold Oliver, mailman, at approximately 5:50 hours on the 20th of October. This is 48. Witnesses' stories seem to confirm in pattern throughout. The front of the object seemed blurred, as if enveloped in smoke, whereas the rest of the main body was a fiery orange color. Wow. The tail seemed to be boiling sheets of flame, which carried on back at variable distances and broke off, dropping vertically.
Weird.
And then they became indistinguishable. That is.
Yeah, I've had a hard time with these ones in the 40s. Let's click through and get a little bit further. And the guys, there's 144 of these.
Do you think the 40s? They're interesting, at least for the fact that everything is so. They all have similarities, but they also seem very different from what people tend to report today. So who knows what this actually is?
Yeah.
Are these reports? I mean, I don't know.
So while motoring on U.S. Highway 52 in a northwestern direction on the outskirts of Moorhead, Minnesota, Mr. L.G. Sanders and wife observed a light traveling in the east to west direction. Mr. Sanders first observed the light, which was to his right, and pointed it out to his wife, who also clearly saw it. Visibility at the time was good. Observer estimated that he could have seen a plane at the distance he estimated the object to have been. The speed was 2 or 3 times faster than a plane. Both agreed that it could not have been a meteor because of the length of time it was visible and because the direction of flight was a slight rise. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep
Incident
flipping through.
192.
Yeah, I want to see. Can you see any date on these? I think the dates are probably at the top.
There we go. 48 still, November.
48 still. So there's a lot, and apparently they were collecting a lot of these in 48. I'm gonna flip through a bunch of them. That one looked juicy. Can you read this just some of it for me?
At approximately 4:35 a.m., a woman phoned the Palladium item, Richmond, Indiana, to ask if they had observed a light in the east, which she stated resembled a flare hanging from a parachute. Interesting. Mr. Dale Stephen, a sports writer on the newspaper, was in the office at the time and advised that he would check on it. Immediately after the woman hung up, a man called with a similar statement. Mr. Stevens then looked out the window and saw a brilliant white light a bit south of east. It seemed to flicker a great deal and appeared much larger than a star, so he discounted the possibility of it being a heavenly body. Lining it up with the corner of a certain building and observing it for a few minutes, he perceived no movement. He then called the police, but they knew nothing of it. He then went to the upper roof and watched it for some 10 minutes. Coming down, he got a camera and took a time exposure of it. However, upon his return to the roof, the object appeared dimmer due to an overcast. Within 5 more minutes, the sky was overcast from low clouds estimated to be at about 1,000 feet. When the object was first observed, the night was clear with the stars out. Mr. Stevens thought the size of the object appeared about 5 to 10 times that of a normal star. He took 2 pictures of the floating light. He is considered to be a trustworthy person. They've got his employer in here stating how, good dude he is. Okay, so yeah, they had a bunch of people see this.
It's interesting how they would go interview his employer after the report.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, either they're loading this with details as you would, any fabrication you were making. I think, as Sarah said on their show this weekend, she said some of them remind me of, if I were having to make a note to my parents about why I skipped school or something. There's just so much detail. It's one of 2 things. Either they're really investigating these, and whoever is filling this out, this document we're reading, was earnest, right? And all that, or it's just being filled in for us to sit here and do this over instead of talk about what else is going on.
Yeah. So blip on the radar scope. Target at first appeared as single craft and at times as 2 aircrafts. Normal for aircraft on radar scope. So that's kind of normal. Let's see what the next piece says.
Target appeared in ground clutter area during entire period of observation. Target was not observed in station area and was not observed visually at any time. So this is basically
all on radar
anomaly. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to keep flipping through. I want to get to like more modern stuff. What's the date on this guy? 1948. Wow.
You're moving chronologically though, so I believe, right? You were in November. Now you're back in October.
Yeah, I find it fascinating that these are all chronological. So this is a staff sergeant in the military. Would you read that one's a quick one?
Sergeant Staff John J. Barrett, or AF, there's his number. New York reported the following on 31st October 48 at approximately 2300 hour 0230 hours. He noticed a flat round object weaving overhead but maintaining a northerly course at an approximate speed of 160 miles per hour. Object was pale yellow or light orange color and not blue white. Seemed to maintain the same altitude and disappeared behind clouds. The object was viewed from 3 to 5 minutes. No vapor trails were seen, nor was any sound heard.
Interesting. Ruth says these actually sound very believable, more believable than today's filmed sightings.
Yeah, I mean, some of them do seem very earnest.
Yes, they do. It seems like they're actually investigating this stuff. Kay says bits of breadcrumbs as they do mostly give. Yep, they certainly do. These all seem like they're from the same year. This one's 48 as well.
It is.
Interesting. Yeah, let's check out this one. At approximately 23:02:31 October, Staff Sergeant Joseph J. Barnett pointed
so this is
out.
the second witness on the same one, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, pointed out an object to PFC Robert R. Anderson, who described it as being round, orange in color, and larger than a star. Object was moving in a northerly direction at an estimated speed of 800 miles an hour. So all these things are moving pretty fast. Estimated altitude was estimated 2,000 to 3,000 feet above the clouds, which were reported to be at 2,500 feet. This would give an approximate altitude of 1,000 or 4,500 to 5,500 feet. Object would swing forward and then backward, but always maintained its forward velocity. Object was seen for approximately 2 minutes before it disappeared behind the clouds. No sound was heard again. Let's just keep flipping through these. I'm noticing it's weird that Roswell happened in 47, and then all of a sudden in 48 we're getting all these, huh?
It is. What is the correlation? I don't know. I was in love with the Roswell incident, as really my whole life, man. Just probably as you were into.
For sure.
Yeah, I've even went to Roswell. I made a very long drive through a very big desert to see it once, extending the drive.
I also went to Roswell one time, and I had fun in the town. I went to the Roswell Alien Museum, that kind of thing. And then my buddy and I were going camping just outside of town.
Oh, nice.
And we went and it was like a desert campsite. There was nobody else there but us because it was hot as hell. And there was like this old guy. This might be just in my memory, but I swear he was chewing on a piece of straw, and he had a cowboy hat on. But he had his feet up on his desk, and he was leaning back in his chair. And we were like, he's like asked us what we were doing here, and we're like, oh, we're here to see Roswell. We're trying to find the crash site. And I knew of like a spot just outside of Roswell where it skipped apparently, and we were going to go check that out. But he was like, oh, if you want to see the real crash site, you're in the wrong place. And we're like, what? Well, where do we go? And we were literally supposed to stay at this place this night. And he was like, the real crash site's in Corona, New Mexico. And in Corona, New Mexico, that's where, I can't think of the name of the guy. That's where the rancher who you could see the picture of him holding up the like aluminum thing. I'm trying to think of his name. Mac Brazel. Yeah, his name was Mac Brazel. And it crashed on his ranch in Corona, New Mexico. He called the police. The police called the Air Force Base in Roswell, and then they came all the way out to Corona, it's like an hour and a half away. And Corona is like, there's like 100 people live there. Okay, so we adjusted fire, and we found a motel to stay at in Corona. We drove all the way there, and it was dark out by the time we got there. The next day, we looked up a bunch of there was like online pictures and stuff of how to find the actual crash site. Apparently they had a UFO festival at the crash site, which is on it's on not government land. What's that called? What's that type of land called? Bureau of Land Management. So it's basically like land that no one owns, that the government overseas. But you have to like walk through this used to be Mac Brazel's ranch and then cross over into private property of a ranch and then cross over into the Bureau of Land Management. This is all through the desert. So we parked like way out there. We had these pictures screenshotted on our phones, of kind of how to find it. We walked around. So supposedly there's sort of a monument to the UFO festival that they had there. There's a like an inscription talking about they came and blah blah blah. It's a whole like thing, and my buddy
Wow.
gave up after about 4 hours walking around the desert. He's like, I'm going back to the car, and I was like, I'm not leaving until I find this crash site. So I was like wandering around the desert for like another 2 hours, like trying to find this crash site. And eventually it was like so hot and I had so much, I was running out of water and I had to give up. And I walked back to the car, found my buddy sleeping in the car, and I never fucking found it. So there you go.
God bless your earnestness and your passion for the topic, Dave. That is a much more intimate experience than I had in Roswell. I had a mediocre lunch at an alien themed restaurant because it was open air and I needed to get out of the car. And I saw the museums and sort of did all that and drove by the sites that were north of town just to sort
Yes.
of get a scope at the landscape. But that was it. I remember a jail also, if I'm remembering right, that supposedly Billy the Kid or somebody was held in that's right around there as well. That's just on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. It's like just like a falling down facade now.
Yeah.
But yeah, much less remarkable and impassioned than your visit, my friend.
I'm trying to find the inscription because it was pretty interesting, but my dang keyboard isn't working correctly. That's okay. It was very. While I'm flipping through this stuff, Jason, could you Google inscription at Roswell crash site in Corona, New Mexico, and where they had the 1997 UFO festival, I think it's called. And I'll flip through a few more of these. Observer reported that observed an object sail northeast across the sky while lying on his back in his yard. Object seemed 30 to 40 feet in diameter, could not ascertain height, but thought object was moving very fast. Estimated speed of around 1,500 miles per hour. Object seemed to be slowly rotating while remaining upright like a flat top. Yeah, it's Corona, New Mexico UFO Festival, inscription on monument, something like that. So yeah, we got a bunch of these. Sergeant Wright stated he was watching some cloud formations in the northeast portion of the sky when he observed a white speck materialize and lengthen. At first, he thought it was skywriting, but as it continued to advance, he thought it appeared as a whole unit. Object pursued a northwestern direction and entered a very large cloud formation. As the object emerged on the northwest by north side, the object appeared larger and he was able to get a clear view. The object appeared, I can't read that, something white. At one time, Sergeant Wright was able to obtain a side view impression. It seemed as if the side surface was broken by windows. The nose, too, was something in length. So, yeah.
Okay. Is it a long gray UFO crash site? Let me share this, Dave. Let me get back to you, man. I think I found an image of what you were wanting. Hopefully, because there's several. But yeah, this and share. Is that it?
Let's see. Yeah, this is it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, let me make that bigger. That's what she said. Yeah, so they left this here at the crash site. In July of the year 1947, a craft of unknown origin spread debris over this site. Witnesses report materials of an unearthly nature. In September of the year 2002, the Sci-Fi Channel brought scientists from the University of New Mexico to search this ground for evidence of that fateful night. Be it observed that whatever the true nature of what was respectively become known as the Roswell incident, humankind has been forever drawn to the stars. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
I did not know about that or see it. It's very cool. It's very
Yeah.
vague, very vague, and all those ellipses are interesting. The dot, 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 dot.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look. There's a lot of these. I'm gonna flip through a bunch of them. Get towards the end because I want to show you guys the FBI photos,
Definitely.
some of the videos, the NASA stuff. I think we're getting the idea of these. I want to see if the year changes if they're all 1948. So can we see a year on this one?
9th of December, and no, I can't read anything after that. Yeah, 48.
Okay. So what we're seeing here, look, this one's
Flash of
1948
light.
as well. So it looks like they just grabbed like a folder from 1948 of like military people, ranchers, farmers, hikers, and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And said, here you go. Here's some disclosure files from 1948. The interesting thing, my big takeaway here is that it's the year after Roswell.
Yeah.
And
That one even says latter part of 47.
okay, yeah. So let's flip through. I mean, there's a bunch of them. We're not going to read all of them to you and bore you guys to death. But this is what they released, guys. A manila folder of FBI reports from 1948. And you know what? They probably have a file like this for every single year, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure every single month, week, you know.
Yeah. So
I don't see a narrative no matter what these things are and no matter what's happening before us, whether it's, you know, all cover story or whether it's all earnest and genuine.
Well-
yeah, man, there's a lot more. There's just a whole lot more that you can't tell me that our government would not be completely involved 100% in all possible accounts if it were in fact cover up or if it were in fact a genuine intrusion of our sovereign airspace. Either way, the government's all over it, you know, I think, as just a dude out here.
yeah, and those were interesting to look through. You know, but if they just have this one folder from 1948, like I said, they have a fucking folder or more from every single year. And it just, I find it interesting that, like, you know, the administration is like, yeah, we're gonna release some UFO stuff next week, and everyone's like, oh shit, what are they going to release? And this is what they give us. I don't know.
Yeah. Let's not forget some of the experts in UFO technology are still counted as missing currently.
That's true.
That happened after the announcement that we were going to be getting these files. So that would be an interesting, you know, coincidence, which, as my buddy Ricardo says, takes planning. So infer your own from there. Trying to say it without saying it.
Right. You know, I watched a lot of stuff about that Amy Eskridge one. Have you? She was the chick who was like
I know
some
who
kind
it
of
is, but-
super brilliant, you know, physicist, but actually got booted out of school, but then ended up working for a bunch of aerospace companies. And then her and her dad were working on, quote, anti-gravity, but she says that's not what it is. It's technically not anti-gravity technology. But then I watched this interview with her where she was like, well, I wouldn't say 3 sheets, but she was 2 sheets to the wind at least. And I watched some other like videos that she put out, and her house was like disheveled. There's like alcohol bottles everywhere and stuff like that. And in that one interview that I saw with her, she was talking about time travelers from, you know, 2700 and shit like that.
I heard that. Yep.
And I didn't find her super credible, but at the same time, her and her dad were working on anti-gravity tech. And then after she disappeared, her dad, and I quote, said, "People disappear all the time," which I thought was really weird.
Yeah, there's so much that could be going on in the read on her, man, because people that are in positions and do want to sort of become whistleblowers, I guess, I completely believe that they would be targeted. You know, the street slang is gang stalked. You know, that they, especially with all these directed energy things we hear about, you know, that somebody at that level, if they were as they purported, I can see being sort of harassed to the point of seeming mad, you know, so that they could then easily do what they wanted to do, which would make the problem go away. I could also
Correct.
see, Dave, you know, I got to stay completely open. I can also see so much of it being like that, but a little more nefarious, right? Like all of it being a setup. Like these people that are wanting to like say stuff and be whistleblowers, in my mind, they could be one of two things. They could be people who have been screwed with, right, by the government, so that they earnestly come forward with something they think is the truth, or they're plants, you know, put there to necessarily put out, you know, obfuscating information, not
Exactly.
clarifying information. And they seem to be going to rock concerts and too in the meantime with meeting the Congress, you know, so it's all very suspect, you know, none of it reminds me, none of it seems to be coming to me in the way that I like truth delivered, Dave, especially, you know, groundbreaking paradigm realigning truth. It's coming from bureaucrats or like seemingly weird used to be bureaucrats, and now they like to hang out with rock stars and talk about UFOs with Congress and us all the time. I don't know. It just doesn't seem the way that, it's not the way Fox Mulder told me it would come to me, man.
No, and I'm glad you painted all the pictures of the potential, like, you know, how that could have happened with Amy. She did talk about directed energy weapons being used against her as well. It's highly possible that she's a disinformation person. It's highly possible that they drove her mad on purpose. But like there was like she showed like how her hands were like red. Like it started at her wrist and moved all the way down her hands, and they were like completely red. And she blamed that on directed energy and stuff like that. But yeah. So do you want to listen to NASA Gemini 7 from 1969, a conversation that happened approximately 4 hours and 24 minutes into the flight where they talk about a UFO?
Okay. Audio.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Havana syndrome, Katie. Yeah, that is what we were. Basically.
How do I show this? Let's see here. So share new tab.
I should stop sharing.
No, window. There we go. No, you're good. I got.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's listen to this. This is about 6 minutes long. So let's check it out.
Let's do it. Just talking to the chat. Keep going, Dave.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of these things that are described definitely real. I mean, I've met people in real life, some of them face to face, who I take to be very credible people, who have evidenced this to me, and I'll keep it that vague because some of these are real people that, you know, wear badges and shit.
Jason, can you hear what I'm playing?
No, sir.
Oh, that's weird. I thought you could. That sucks. I was like, why is Jason talking over this?
I was feeling air, dude. I'm sorry. I thought I was just filling air.
No, you're good. I'm glad you were filling air because I thought I'm like playing something. There should be sound that's coming through, but apparently not. So I guess we can't listen to that right now.
So do you want to check your volume? Was your volume on? And all
I was
that
hearing it in my
stuff?
headset. and it was showing up on the
Chat
on the screen.
Chat, check in. Were you hearing that? But no, I sure wasn't.
So how about now? Yeah, I guess if I share this window, it doesn't work. Maybe the volume is off on this, because this is very interesting, and I want to try to share it. Let's see.
Yeah, there
Try it
definitely
again.
could be a couple of volumes.
Can you hear that? You'd hear it.
No.
Okay. Well, it's in there, guys. NASA 1965. They talk about bogeys they saw. So the next thing we'll check out is pictures from that mission. Okay. So let's take a look at these. That's weird. And so these are NASA these are official Apollo 12 1969 and Apollo 17 1972 lunar surface photographs taken by astronauts. We can see a black lunar sky above the moon's horizon, yellow bounding boxes highlighting anomalies. So look in the yellow boxes, bright white blue dots, triangular formations of three lights, vertical streaks, and tumbling particles. Some show multiple points of light or color shifts. So that's a weird one.
That is a weird one. Hey, I've got 50 seconds of that audio you were looking for. Do you want me to try to share it?
Yeah, please.
All right, so let me minimize and let me do that and share. Brilliant.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Hopefully
yeah, no worries. Now let me go back to where I can. Sorry, I know you can't see, but I've just got to. Now you should be able to. There you go.
Yeah.
So
hopefully this works. I got it. I can hear it.
This is Houston. Say again, 7. Is that the booster or is that an actual sighting? Say again, 7.
We have several, looks like the 3 up here, actual sighting. It looks like hundreds of little particles going by to the left out about 3 to 4 miles.
Understand you have many small particles going by on the left. At what distance?
4 miles. Looks like perhaps a vehicle that's disintegrated.
Roger, understand they're about 3 to 4 miles away.
They're past now, they're going to pull orbit. The booster on my side is a brilliant body of the sun, just a black background, and billions of particles around it. Bogey at 10 o'clock high.
This is Houston. Say again, 7.
Interesting. Thank you for finding that, Jason. You're a good co-host.
no worries, dude.
So that was from 1965. What are your thoughts on that? And what are your thoughts on that, chat?
Okay, so first it's just an audio. Secondly, anything from that era is going to do two things to me, Dave. It's going to scratch the childhood, wonderment I had at listening to these things, because I did listen to them so early, right? And was so intrigued by these types of recordings. So it's going to hit me there emotionally, and I'm going to want to believe that it's genuine, right? But then there is sort of, 46 going on 47-year-old me that has learned a lot about our institutions. And I don't know, man. I'm just I keep one foot out of the believing it circle right now because of the source. But the little boy in me is intrigued by it, man. I love hearing this audio that supposedly for so long was like verboten, off limits for us. So if that's what it's supposed to do, then I'm gonna let it for a second, because it's just pretty dang cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's freaking astronauts in space in 1965 going back and forth, talking about bogeys and weird sightings and stuff like that.
Right. All these things that we heard as children, at least interested in young men and girls, interested in this stuff. We heard that, there's recordings, Buzz Aldrin says there's a, Sphinx up there somewhere. You hear all these things, but to hear actual audio, of course it's cool, even if later on I'm going to go, well, in my head, that's BS. It's very cool to hear.
Yeah, I agree. The pictures that we're going to go through from 68, no, 66, 68 and 69, um, I just want to say that they were submitted to Arrow, which was like the organization that was like been requesting all the UFO UAP releases from the government. They submitted these in 2026. And astronaut transcripts from Gemini 7 and 6 and Apollo debriefs describe similar bogeys, debris, and 4th of July fireworks like particles, which we're going to show you. So Grok says there's no doctoring of the original images. These are the same frames NASA has had for decades, now flagged for UAP review. Okay. So the first one up is this one. Okay, a couple of dots in the sky. I don't see anything in Area 1. Do you?
I do. In the very top left-hand corner, there are two faint little blue dots. I mean, they are faint little suckers, but they're there. This is very.
Oh yeah, I see them. I see them.
This is like Mars Disclosure with John Ward in a way, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah. What else we got? Okay, that's a weird one.
Okay, yeah. Could be a star, which you can't see from the moon. Isn't that what we've been told? So
supposedly.
Okay, so it can't be a star.
Okay. There's two there.
Yeah, or almost three. It looks like three little lights, maybe, potentially, but definitely different colors.
Yep. Hang in there, chat, because we're going to get into the videos as well.
So if we're not allowed to see stars from the moon, if that doesn't happen. Weird. Oh, there we go. Different shapes. Then we know we're looking at
different colors too.
Something anomalous.
Yeah, for sure. I could be camera stuff. Like they could have identified this as camera glitches and then just said, "Here, show them this."
Could have. Area 2 looks almost like a three-dimensional Tetris piece. Yeah. But Area 1 looks like a drip, and then Area 5 is like R2-D2 if he were one of those little yellow things, one of those the minions.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting photos, man, no doubt.
One more of these NASA photos,
and I'm guessing those were all at the same time. That's a lot of odd artifacts in one photo.
Let me tell you, they're from Apollo 12 and Apollo 17.
Okay.
So I don't know which ones are which, but this is the last one. Triangular shape, two different colors.
Mm-hmm. See kind of a blue and a red, it seems, maybe.
Does this moon landscape look real to you?
I was just studying that. I was. Okay, so the hills being at the same level is a little weird. I'm sure there's an explanation for it. But that's what first jumps out to my mind, bro, is it looks a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rue says the abduction claimers are the hardest to believe, but those written reports are very easy to believe. What they saw may have been explainable, but they saw it and did their best to honestly describe it. How do you feel about abductee reports?
There seemed to be enough, Dave, that it is a legitimate phenomena that it seems to be experienced earnestly by some folks, right?
Uh-huh.
Now, that much I'm pretty confident about. I've read enough and looked around enough that seems to be the case. What is that phenomena? And is it actually biological entities from somewhere else coming and carrying you off, or is it something else? Is still a question I'm not convinced of completely.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a narrative around abductions when you really start going down rabbit holes that talk about governments allowing, certain numbers of humans to be taken by these things. Some of these guys that appear on Rogan put forth that narrative and all. But I believe the phenomena occurs, and I believe these people are earnestly reporting something they experienced. But past that, I'm not committed to it being spiritual phenomena, something a little more than what we're ready to quite wrap our heads around, happening to a lot of people over generations. But is it UFOs coming to like plumb our body plumbing? I don't know.
Yeah, what originally got me into this topic was Fire in the Sky, the Travis Walton story, the movie about him. And actually was less about him and more about, what happened to the crew afterwards and how they all took lie detector tests and passed, and, what happened to his brother afterwards. And, it did. He described, being on a craft and like being on a metal table and beings being around him and him feeling totally terrified and yada yada yada. I talked to this one lady, Camille James Harmon, on my show, and she outlined some very horrific experiences, including losing a pregnancy during an abduction scenario. This could be like well beyond our ability to understand. Like, could be extra dimensional. Could be
There you go.
Demons, which are potentially extra dimension, and angels, could be all that shit.
These words we use, yeah. I mean, they're words to describe something that is beyond our perception of this 3D material realm, without a doubt. And are you familiar with Graham Hancock's brief writing on the abduction phenomena?
No.
And Supernatural, right? That was the last iteration. It changed titles. Anyway, it was one he did on cave art and all this other cool theories of other folks on where cave art came from, et cetera, what it meant. Anyhow, when he's talking about the UFO abduction phenomena, he makes some very interesting correlations to what 300 years ago or so were reported as fairy abduction and encounters in northern Europe, right?
Yeah.
And sort of posits this thought that this thing that seems to share these common themes, such as taking babies, these weird themes that over time have been described fitting sort of the time, like in ways that a person of that time would describe. And it's interesting to me, and I think that definitely takes it to interdimensionality. I don't think it takes away kind of where his theory ends up in just, again, a hypothetical way, is if one were to follow these threads through time, what one at the very least might sort of read from that, it could be something from outside this physical realm that was attempting to gain corporalness or gain physicality, right?
Mm-hmm.
So messing around here, and you have these weird stories of breeding and interbreeding, and maybe these things then hence did in fact change form over time. It's a deep rabbit hole, man. Again, that's why I stay so open on it. But I think the main story that Fox Mulder, sort of popularized for us about little green men somehow coming from an extra planet environment,
Mm-hmm.
I'm less inclined to,
Yeah, it sounds crazy, and I had somebody say the opposite. I think it was Jacqueline. I interviewed Jacqueline from Universe Unveiled. It's coming up in a few weeks, and she said it's more likely, like, from another planet than another dimension or whatever. And I disagree. I think, like, if for the same reason you said, which is, these reports have been reported for thousands of years using different language. And they all seem to be like, not like real and not real at the same time. Like, it's hard for humans to describe even what's happening, which could be the case with, advanced technology and advanced beings from another planet. But I don't know. I just think it takes too fucking long to get here. So
yeah, exactly. Well, it would be advanced technology for them and us, right? If you've got something coming from an adjacent reality, an interdimensional reality, which essentially boils down to one that we're not on the frequency of, right? If
Well, we
these
only see
things,
4 dimensions. Supposedly there's like 13 or something. If you go down that quantum physics rabbit hole,
right?
and there's all these different dimensions like wrapped in on themselves, and they're around us
Right.
everywhere. And we only have these measuring tools to measure, the 3 dimensions we live in plus time, which we call a dimension, which I would argue that it's not. But besides the point, there's so much
I would
more
agree.
to reality than what we can observe. I think about it like this. A dolphin, a hummingbird, just different animals have different measuring tools, so they can observe reality in a different way than we can. They can see things that we can't see, or they can't. They can hear stuff we can't hear, or they can. It's a whole spectrum of consciousness that it's hard to integrate all together into one reality. I mean, even you, you see better than I do, right? Even humans have varying measuring tools. Some humans have a more intuition and more empathy. Some humans are really good at math and science. And it's just such a spectrum of reality. And I believe that there's a much broader spectrum of reality that goes outside of what the biological beings on the planet can measure. And so to me, it's more likely that these things exist around us all the time and occasionally poke in and either interfere or say hi or give us a little help or scare the shit out of us. Then they come from another planet in a spaceship and then abduct us or whatever. We would, I don't know. That's just how I feel about it.
I agree with that, and I'm also more inclined. Sorry, Jacqueline, but no, she's great. We disagree all the time. I love her. She's probably cussing me in our little Discord chat right now. But I honestly think if one wants to look for another place, it's within the Earth. It's possibly under the sea.
Within the Earth, under the sea, yeah.
Inside the moon. I don't know. There's just a lot of local locations where there's a lot of mysterious stuff we know nothing about, and where one can get indications from historical and mythical texts. I saw a quote the other day you might like, man. I think it was Joseph Campbell who said that myth is extremely important. Myth is, in fact, very accurate. It's much more accurate than history, because history, after all, is just journalism, and we know how accurate that is.
I like that quote a lot. So that brings me to what Jordan Crowder posted. You sent me this the other day. He said, so filmmakers, government officials, and Congress people have all seen all these classified UFO videos, and not one of them has gone crazy. They all go back to work each day, grab some groceries, do some podcasts, live their lives like nothing ever happened, which means whatever they have is not enough to cause ontological shock. And many of these people are religious extremists. So the narrative of we can't show the public because it would cause mass panic excuse isn't feasible anymore. In my opinion, the primary reason they're withholding this evidence is it'll show the public these crafts are not coming from another planet. They are coming from inside the Earth. And most critically, the most advanced and powerful military on the surface of the Earth is completely powerless to do anything about it. I think that's more, I honestly think that's, look, we don't know. We know very little about what do they say? We know 10% or something about the ocean or some shit like that.
Right.
We still don't really what they taught us in science about, the inner workings of the planet has changed since we were in school in the 90s.
It's true.
They still don't understand, the inside of our own planet. So
we really don't, Dave. Look, man, you here in our community, look at the scans and all the stuff under the Sphinx, using all this high technology that no one can agree on, and that shit is less than 100 feet below the surface of the Earth. We're right, and we still cannot agree on what our technology shows us. What do you think they do to tell us what's in the middle of the Earth? Same thing, but even less accurate. They just send invisible sound waves and shit through there, right? And magnetic stuff to detect the metal.
Exactly.
None of it is like, hey, we've been there, we're certain. It's just like we're seeing with the stuff under the Sphinx. One guy sees a second Sphinx. One guy sees, no, you're crazy. That's just somebody spilt a ink pen on your picture.
Right. Right. And Sarah's probably laughing at our Jacqueline comments. I just want to say that Jacqueline's probably the smartest person I know. And so, but I'm not afraid to disagree with her at times.
Take our disagreements with her with a grain of salt, because she is most likely to be accurate anytime we disagree.
Well, yeah, Jacqueline's she has a little woo in her. Like, you can get it out of her, and I got some of it out of her in our interview that's coming up. But she's very nuts and bolts, factual in nature, and gosh, she's fucking brilliant, man. So I don't know.
She's only got a little woo in her, as opposed to Sarah, who is completely chock full of woo.
Yes.
None of that sounds very complimentary, does it?
Well, the two of them together make a dynamic duo because
Exactly.
of the woo versus the critical, and I think that's why they get along so good. But let's move on to the FBI photos. I got a handful of those.
Go like,
to show
subscribe
us.
to Universe Unveiled, and let's go check out what the Federal Bureau of Investigation, as run by J. Edgar Hoover, the cross-dressing psychopath that he was, blackmailing, pro is what he was.
So
all right, let's see what the FBI had.
I think it's important to frame these pictures first, because everyone always sees these and goes, "Oh, gee, why can't they show us good pictures?" Blah blah blah. So these are still frames extracted from a continuous 1999 grayscale surveillance video, which is essentially an FBI or law enforcement camera system. All the timestamps for them read 12/31/1999, which, interestingly enough, is right before Y2K era, where clocks reset and the systems were reinitialized and stuff like that in computers. So I find that interesting. But what we're going to see here, here's the first one. Is black and white targeting style footage with central crosshair reticles and scale markers. Small, dark, irregular objects appear against a textured mountainous background. Some frames show a clear helicopter silhouette. Objects move independently, appear, disappear, cluster, change shape slightly. FBI submitted UAP evidence from a 1999 surveillance operation released in the 2026 Pursue Arrow for the war.gov. So they were submitted specifically for this, which I find suspect. Do you?
I do.
Yeah. So they were supposed to submit some stuff. They were asked to submit some stuff. The FBI was for this specific UAP UFO release. And here's what we got. This. This.
The amoeba.
Thanks, FBI.
Hey, thank you for the circular blob-like structure.
Yeah, supposedly it was moving all crazy.
So are they redacting the structure just as they are all the coordinates, or is
I
that
think
actually...
what they're redacting. Let me see if I can find it in my research.
I see them
here.
redacting all the coordinates and all that possibly, but it looks like the object is just a black sphere.
Yeah, I think they don't want us to know where they were surveilling in 1999,
Sure.
and
Sure.
maybe there's some structures that they're redacting that may be able to tell people what they were looking at and whatnot. So that's my guess. But that's all. It's like,
there we go.
Thanks, FBI. Yeah, this one is a little different. It's not a black blob.
No, it kind of looks like a setting sun, but either way. It's a white
Yeah.
blob. Yeah, impressive. I'm blown away.
then
Oh, it's
this
a black
one.
blob with potentially some blurry tentacles under it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
potentially.
This is impressive. Honestly,
Yeah.
Jean Ward has better pictures of Mars, so I don't, what's going on, man? This was on our planet, dude.
Yeah. You know, so we're not going to get any audio on these videos, but let's check out the videos they released. Okay, some of them are actually pretty interesting. And fill a little airspace and plug your channel while I'm pulling this up here.
Yes, you can find me at shaman711_ on X. YouTube is shaman711 and Rumble is shaman711. And of course, if you're on the old Boomerville of Facebook, you can find me under my name, Jason Huffman. I try to do stream live to all of those when I do my new series, Finding Things Within and Without, which is just like it sounds, about the evidence I found both spiritually on what we were speaking on again earlier, but within myself, but also on the material evidence that I've found to put forth as well. There we go. And Dave's ready with his image.
Yeah, these are videos. So let me just give you a background of these. FBI 1999 surveillance videos, military clips from mission reports. We're going to see some misshapen and uneven ball of white light, orbs, lights tracked during ISR missions. I don't know what ISR means. Some breaking into multiple objects or showing erratic movement. Let's check them out. Fuck it. Can you see this?
Yeah, it's small. I can see sort of your whole screen basically. I can see the files.
Okay.
Right.
Let me replace. No. Don't worry, I got it, guys. Let's see here. I'm gonna get rid of this, hide, and then share. Why won't this share? Weird. Stop. There we go. All right.
A window instead of or entire screen.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. Brilliant. You got it.
It's just hard to sift through them. So here we go. Here's one. See what we got. Okay. Let's take another look at that.
Yeah, let's do that again. Okay.
I'm going to try to pause it on that. Oops.
Oh.
I almost had it.
Okay. A missile? I mean, just a shape, is all I mean, really.
Yeah. Weird.
I'm not saying what it is. Yeah, it's just weird, without a doubt. But I have no context, so I don't know. I guess the description gives us the speed and everything they were guessing it is.
Here's another one. It's just a little white dot moving around.
I see it. Yeah, it seems to be close to the ground, like an orb.
Check it out again. Chat, I'd be talking more to you guys in the chat, but I don't have Megan here, and I'm trying to...
Given the MP4, interesting, all between, I imagine, what scene? That's Kitty checking in with us. We've got Tammy. We've got Sarah hearting each other.
What are we looking at here? This is a weird one.
Yeah, it is.
I can't tell what we're looking at.
I can't either. I saw structures.
I'm going to play it again.
Okay.
So there's structures. They're also like blanking out structures.
Correct.
Oh, so top right. Top
yep.
right. Okay, let's see if we can pause it on that.
That is
I doubt I'm going to be able to pause it on that.
Exceptionally fast streaking incident.
Yeah, it's like right there.
Moving perfectly in sync with those lines on the terrain, too, which is interesting.
Okay, I think I got it. Almost. Hold on. Let's go. Let's go back. There we go. Man, I mean, come on,
It's
guys.
fast. Yeah.
This is all we got. This is it.
Yeah. Nothing really. It's pretty
Yeah.
nice too.
All right. This one's definitely interesting. It's a fly.
Yeah, or and it does match the stories of orbs and spheres. I mean,
I think this one's literally from Iraq. They were about to blow some shit up here.
right.
Which isn't funny. I shouldn't laugh at that.
No, we often have to take our. We've had this discussion, our traumatic events, and turn them into laughter.
So, how do we feel about this?
I feel it could match the narrative of orbs. I feel it could be a drone, or it could be an unidentified phenomena. It looks streaky, right? Now, when you pause it, it's a globe. But again, I have zero context, and because of the quality of the video, right, I don't have anything. It could just as very easily be a military drone as anything else,
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I know.
I think that's the best. I think that's exactly what that is. A military. It's not going super fast, from what I can tell. I mean, this video is pretty detailed, so it's not like it's like a bird or something,
Right.
It's white, which is weird. I don't know. Come on, guys, bring it on.
Yeah, go in from just considering the source, bro, and seeing. I mean,
so they're tracking this thing in the upper left here.
Yep, I see it.
It looks very similar to what we saw.
A little less orb-like. It seems to have potentially a little more shape going on, or a lower appendage, or is that just light reflecting? See there, it almost looks like a little tiny, like a miniature airplane, and then it like loses both wings.
It just zipped off like there.
It
goes
did.
back and forth a couple times, and then it just zooms off, and then they try to find it. And it looks like they can't find it.
If legit cool video, considering that this is supposedly a disclosure of everything the government has on this topic, this is hugely underwhelming.
Underwhelming is right. This one's about 4 minutes long. I think the anomaly shows up shortly. I'm sending a message to my wife. Gonna make dinner soon.
What are we having?
What are we having? Chicken tacos.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I remember I skipped forward in this one a little bit. It doesn't look like it's tracking anything here. And then all of a sudden it sees something over here, locks onto it, and then zooms in a little bit. And then I guess it changed, some camera setting so it could see it better. Then it zoomed in. This one's moving back further. There's another thing on the top left. Did you see that?
What is that? That almost looked like an underwater shot. That was strange.
Chat, what do you guys think about this? These videos? Give us your thoughts. So that's the one that the top left there. That's a bit strange too. There it goes right there.
Yeah, a couple of anomalies. So if I remember the zoom in correct, this is over the water. So the thing is behaving exceptionally strange if it is indeed a three-dimensional physical object flying above the water. I don't know of anything that does that.
Yeah, me neither. Weird.
Yeah, the other little floating artifacts make me wonder about the video in general. If I had no context, I would say that was like a shot of underwater or something. It was all
All right, see this one?
okay. Another
They're
globy
tracking it.
white thing.
Yeah, like a lot of them seem to have like this like thing hanging down, for lack of a better word. Look a little like an octopus or something, sea creature.
We've seen that in a few of those Mars anomalies in the air. Those artifacts that John showed us. A few little things with appendages hanging down. So that tracks. That's a tie-in.
This is a weird one.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the others, roughly, right? Sort of like these 1948 documents. Not a whole lot of meat and similar themes. I don't know, dude. Are they? I guess they're inching it forward, but again, kind of like old Crowder's point made a minute ago. If there's more, why are we making a Netflix series out of it? Why is it a fucking docu-series? Why aren't we just getting the info given to us? That triggers my questions.
Did you see that other thing? Watch it on the right side. Another thing flies by. I thought maybe I missed it.
Clouds. Oh. Yeah, something happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
And what is all that textural overlay happening? I don't know, man. These are just weird, dude.
okay,
Nothing
same sort of thing.
is straightforward.
This is over the water, same sort of thing. Hard to
Got
tell
the
how
little
big it is.
tractor beam on it down hanging from it like the other one. That one seems to have a little bit more of the quality of an object to it outside of just a blur.
So I looked up just really quickly. Some of these are over Syria in October 2024. They're infrared or full motion video from U.S. military aircraft drones, sensors during real ISR, DSA, and Overwatch missions. So they were submitted by U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, and other combatant commands to Aero. These are the actual sensor videos referenced in the mission reports. Okay. I mean, I can see that if they were just doing drone surveillance and then they run into this stuff, they send it to us. But part of me thinks they have a good explanation for this and they just give it to us as candy,
Well, you're gonna bring in floating into our discussion here the idea that a lot of this stuff may in fact be technology owned, operated, developed, back engineered, whatever adjective you want to use by institutions of ours.
That was weird.
Military industrial institutions, that this is in fact in some way their or our technology as opposed to alien, So I mean,
What
there's
about this
always-
thing?
Okay, they got an invisible red. Is this a heat signature?
I don't know.
And it just bloops in and out, and then back again.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, nice artifact. Because of the type video, it almost looks like we're looking at night vision. So I don't I don't know if I'm looking at something in most of these, Dave.
I didn't
that's
see
in
it.
the three-dimensional reality, or if it's like heat and light.
Do you see anything in this one? I didn't see
Structures.
jack shit. Can you guys see anything in this one? Oh,
Up top center left, the red thing.
Oh,
came back
yeah,
like
there
a
it is.
Halo.
yeah, weird. Okay.
Again, there is the element, Dave, that this also kind of looks like the shit that happens on my iPhone when I'm filming into the sun. I mean, there is that.
This is What is this? Come on, guys. That's an orb.
I
That almost looks fake.
mean, it does. It almost looks like something I'd see on a fictional TV show called, Ghostbusters, where they're running around setting up cameras looking for heat signatures or something passing through walls.
It might be like a closer up of the red one we just saw. But
I need context for sure. Otherwise, I'm just seeing weirdness.
Yeah. Let's see. What else we got?
Yeah, Tammy says, unless you've seen one for yourself. I agree, Tammy. I've got my own experiences, which I won't go into detail here, so I don't really need all of this, in any way to show me anything. But I am definitely watching it from that viewpoint,
This one's weird.
Yeah, weird.
Kind of moving back and forth.
Oh, there we go. Now it's heading back.
I mean, they can release all this stuff and then have us talking for 2 weeks and totally kill a news cycle of shit that they're trying to get us to avoid.
They totally
not
can.
see.
They really can.
And that's all it takes is 2 weeks, and then the news cycle moves on. They've got it locked in on this thing now, and then they change. I don't know, the sensor or whatever to get a better look at it. But they're like radar locked on this thing now. I'm okay. There's a handful more, guys, so hang in there.
Well, yeah, Katie, 1, 2, 3. That is, I think, a large portion of precisely what's going on.
These all look like the same phenomenon.
They do. They do.
This one's off the coast of something, apparently. I can't even see it anymore.
Because of that, Dave, again, they could be legitimate. I mean, 100%. But we just don't have context to, say either way. And again, Tammy, I'm not talking about the artifacts or the flying objects. I mean, I'm on the side of their 100% being because of things I experienced. Many of these things kind of like described in some of those 48 accounts that are out there. But right now, what I'm trying to do is sort out why we're getting what we're getting and whether or not I wish to give it credence.
Yeah.
I don't need it, though, to believe it, to know it. What is that, that's a boat?
Yeah, and then now they're following an object. I don't even see the object they're following. Do you? Oh, up,
the top left. Yeah, like a fly, and then back through the center.
So that one has a tail. Okay.
Sorry, I had a dog attacking me. I didn't catch the tail.
I'll show you. Quick.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, like a little comet tail, huh?
Yeah. Similar to the one, moves around really weird. So Ryan Graves was one of the whistleblowers, and he reported that they see orb-like objects like this all the time.
Yeah.
Whistleblowers, I take with a grain of salt.
Yep. Yeah, season 1 here of Netflix Disclosure is a bit underwhelming. They kind of took information that anybody who has had any interest in this topic whatsoever already sort of knows and has seen, and now they're giving us a few visuals and a few old reports from a generation ago. Season 1, you need to fire the writers. Because season 2, I'm gonna give you my curiosity for season 2. I'll tune in for the first episode again here with my buddy Dave. But
Yeah.
I'm looking for some improvement in the script.
The wife's home. She's gonna be mad I didn't make dinner yet.
Yeah, go get dinner, dude, if you need
No,
to.
I wanna flip through some more of these. So this is the star one that everyone was talking about.
Okay, so
This is the
I
one
see.
that's in our
The one
yeah.
that looks like what Superman brought Superman to Earth.
Yep. This is
It's-
weird. Yeah, this is very strange. I mean, it could be a fucking kite.
It could be a flare on a parachute in black and white. Look at the trail sort of behind it, right? Like that's
Yeah.
that's a little
interesting.
odd. All of the stuff usually doesn't have a trail. So, I mean, I'm intrigued by it compared to the rest of the images, Dave. It's definitely more interesting as far as just an image goes.
Yeah.
The trail, though, it bothers me. I'm wondering if that's an artifact on the screen or if that's, it's actually leaving a trail. Gosh, and it seems to not change in size, so that would make it just moving up and down. I don't know, man. The skeptic in me says it could be a flare on a parachute blown in the wind. I just don't know. It's just so hard to say anything. I'm trying to be totally objective, Dave, and just look at these images you're giving me. And it's just so hard to say that it's anything.
Yeah. This is the most compelling one so far. This is the weirdest one for me. Because you can see more. Like, it's not just like a dot.
Look, there was a parachute. There's a parachute. What is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, what is that? That is weird.
What is that?
Yeah.
What are we looking at, Dave? What are we actually looking at, man?
Yeah.
What was that? It looked like one of those blobs. So I've got
Yeah.
a smoke trail and then that thing swing through. The other thing that sort of I find bothersome is I saw
See
was
that
it
one?
Luna? No, was it Representative Luna or who was it that used that image of what you just showed me and also posted some of these AI generated biblically accurate representation of what angels would look like? And I don't know, man, that triggers me a little bit because I see narrative being pushed.
Yeah, you always got to look for the narrative being pushed. I'm just kind of sliding back and forth on this one. It's
Yeah,
kind of
I don't-
nothing burger.
It is.
I got a connection. I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, dude.
Okay, I just got booted for a second. All right, what do we got here?
Clouds.
What's going on? Come on now. It's like freezing
It
up.
did
on
look
me.
like a star fort. Yeah, it did.
Somebody said it looked like a star fort.
Yeah. And it also looked like a traditional compass they would paint on maps. It really did. It's what sort of reminded me of.
So I had a little bit of a freeze up there. Let's see if this works. Can you guys see that?
Nope.
No. Okay, hold on.
You're good. Yeah, we're just on the backdrop.
Yeah, we're almost done. Share. Can you see that? right.
Yeah, got you now.
Cool.
Dude, the artifact is okay. Bottom below the square trigger. I mean the sight. Yeah,
Similar. That one's flashing a little bit.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, same
On to
stuff.
the next one.
Same stuff. What is this? Okay, moving in
Moving back
and
and,
then moving
forth.
back. Okay, we got the zigzagger again. Moving at strange speeds and unaccountable angles that craft we know of couldn't take. I'll agree to that.
Just kind of flipping through.
Is that's a
fault.
shadow?
Yeah,
It's got a
that's
little
weird.
shadow.
It's
That
kind of
is
flipping
weird.
in, then it just disappeared.
Yeah, I think they're. It's like they're taking the whole unidentified objects thing way too literally with what they're giving us here. I mean, because some of these could even they look like screen artifacts almost.
There's two here. Yeah, that I agree. So they're looking at this boat, and then they pick up a weird object. There's only one more after this, guys. Yeah, same shit, man.
Same stuff.
Same phenomenon.
Yep. Something that from camera we can only tell is mostly round, moving in very suspicious ways. Sometimes seems to leave a trail and sometimes doesn't.
Yeah. What do we got here? Similar.
Sometimes blips in and out like a screen artifact. Two
That
little
could be a drone.
dots.
This
Yeah.
could be a drone. They could be just like, let's show them that drone. You know?
Remember the one we didn't know if it was
was
ours or Russia's? Yeah, that's unidentified. Show them that one.
Keep it on going.
Okay,
This
now
is a
that's
quick one.
What is that? At least that's shaped differently.
Yeah, that's weird. At first, I thought it was a boat, but I actually think this is the anomaly. Okay. Couple more. I thought there was only one more, but there's like 4 more.
Yeah, that seemed to have some sort of biologic, I don't know, effect to it. The way it was morphing, sort of like a cellular organism. This is okay.
This one's interesting.
It is. At times, it seems to take on the spiky effect of that one possibly parachute-driven artifact. I don't know. But this is intriguing. They are all sticking together. Do they all? It's all sticking together like it's one thing. That's what I'm looking for. Is do they ever, in any way, break apart?
Let's wait and see. I just skipped ahead just to find out.
They did seem to change position there. There we go. They are slightly, but they're not breaking apart. They seem to like morph together.
Another just white dot.
Wind farm. It's small.
Yeah.
Moving quickly.
This could be a drone, man.
I mean, could it? Yes. I mean, that's the thing with every single one of these pictures. Because of the nature or quality of the video, there's nothing I think we as non-experts particularly can say definitively, dude.
What the fuck was that?
That's what's disappointing about it.
That's weird. Is this an anomaly here, or are we just talking about the white thing flying back and
Or
forth?
were they leaving being focused on that thing to see this? That's kind of what I'm taking from this video.
Okay.
I mean, yes, if it's legitimate and this is an airborne phenomena, strange. It could also be headlights.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, which again has nothing to do with my belief in all of these phenomena. It's just we're trying to figure out how seriously to take it at the end of the day. It's part of what I'm doing.
Last one. And that's it. You just see it?
No.
It's bottom, middle, it kind of just shoots past.
Okay.
See it?
No.
It just shoots. It's bare. Look at the kind of stream structure in the middle.
Sure.
And then watch it fly from the middle to the bottom right, towards the bottom right.
What color is it? Oh, there he goes. There he goes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so bad, Dave, that I have to work so hard to look at it and disclosure.
Yeah. Hide. So here's my outer space song for closeout.
All I know is Fox Mulder would be having somebody's ass right now because that was extremely underwhelming.
Okay, guys. So I'm gonna. I don't think we need a different song. There. So everyone who was watching, Sarah, Kay was all up in there. Tammy was here for a while. Rue was here for a while. Tammy's still here, I think. That we looked at FBI photos. We looked that didn't show much. We looked at NASA photos that didn't show much. We looked at, we heard the NASA audio, which was like, that was fun. All those videos were extremely underwhelming. I can't say one way or another. The star one and the one with the three things next to them were interesting. I mean,
1998, me would have had a blast with all of this, you know?
I think that's a good way to put it. You know, because look, it goes back to that meme. Like, it's like, show me the money, or piss off. That's how I feel about that. I'm with Rue. The most interesting ones were the files of the reports. Those were very interesting. Much more interesting than
I think we would have gotten more out of just keeping on reading than we would some of these videos, which supposedly are so shocking to our way of understanding that pastors have had to been called to secret meetings because ontological shock and challenges to your faith and ability to function in this world are incoming. Yeah, I didn't get any of that.
No, me neither. And you know, Sarah said I put you on the big screen, made all the difference, worth it to go back and look. Like, I'm watching like on a big wide computer screen, and I'm
She was talking
underwhelmed.
about us, dude. She was talking about us.
Okay, we look better on the big screen.
Right.
And yeah, so Kay says she's siding with Sarah, I think. So you guys thought that was more interesting than Jason and I did? I appreciate you guys watching with us.
Yeah, it's not that, again, it's disinteresting. It's just,
yes,
it seems to be many things other than what it's said to be. Right. There's a lot of other things at play, and I find it to, I'm left wanting, which is probably exactly what they want out of me, Dave.
Yes,
is they want me to want more. They want me to go to work and shut my damn mouth tomorrow and around the cooler talk about all the really cool things that the government's finally showing us that Ancient Aliens was always talking about. You know, that's what they want, man. But I'm not doing it.
I'm of the mindset that this is a psyop. It doesn't mean that those videos and pictures and whatnot aren't real. We're getting breadcrumbs and we're being led by the nose, just like Fox Mulder was. And then he never quite gets, the answers he's looking for. He always almost does. And that's what they want from us. So, yeah. Subscribe to Dave's Multiverse.
Yeah. Poor Dave, he gets so disappointed by this, but what I love about it is it shows that your interest and your love of this stuff is earnest, man. And I'm the same way. And Dave, I think it's for a reason. And there are realities here outside of the negative ones that you and I like to try to see and to point out to the audience, because I believe that's valid. That's what reality has taught you and I, is to look at it that way and to share that perspective. But I also do have a perspective that there is a reality of things out here, bro. And I've seen them, and I'm not fucking that loopy, so I don't need all of this to know that your passion is real and you're into this stuff for a good reason. So I would like to, at some point, see a way to reignite that. And I think, as in most of life, man, we're not going to find the things that reignite our passions coming down from the government. That's just, it's not going to happen. I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the guy who's been talking his whole life about how silly UFO believers are, just wrote a book, and it's already written and it's coming out just as Disclosure is coming out. It's just, keep your stuff over there, and we'll keep diving into the reality of this. And yeah, that's it, man. I just hate to see you so sort of despondent about this. But you know, the truth is out there.
I personally haven't seen anything. And I know I'm not going to get the answers I want from the government. So that's why, like, when this came out last week, I really wasn't that excited. And I waited and to see some other people's reactions to it. Then I went through it today, and I showed it to you guys. And I'm just, here's the thing. I don't think the government knows more about this stuff, some of this stuff, than we do. They do have technology that we don't know that they have, that's for sure. But then there's a whole other phenomenon that they don't know anything about, and neither do we. And that's what Jordan Crowder was saying, is that they know something exists that's like infiltrating our airspace, and they can't do a goddamn thing about it. So
I completely concur. And anything that would be here, Dave, I think most likely would be leading them by the nose, just like they're leading us by the nose. You know, if there was any sort of actual contact or whatever folks might like to you know, believe happened, I don't believe for a second that our government wouldn't be just as led and just as potentially more blind than we are out here trying to observe it and check it out on our own.
Yep. Subscribe to Shaman 711 on YouTube, X, and Facebook. Subscribe to Dave's Multiverse. Same thing. I'm also on Instagram. I think Jason is too.
Somebody send Dave a cookie, please, and a sticker and a smiley face. You know, something to make.
Is this like the least excited you've seen me?
Well, no, it's just I know the passion that is there, or at least the desire and the interest, right? And what I like, dude, is I like your intuitional read matched mine. You know, this dropped and it was just like, you know, I didn't pick up my phone to go check it out immediately either.
I think everyone was like that, except for, and here's what I said, I can't remember who I said this to the other day. There's people who just got into this topic 5 years ago or something, and those people are really excited. But the ones who've been like asking these questions for 30 plus years or longer are just looking at this going, meh, you know?
Right, exactly. You know, I mean, let's just see where it goes, Dave. Let's leave the audience and ourselves with that. I don't think we can reach any verdict. I agree with you that what we call a psyop does not mean fake, everybody. It means that there are narratives, there's control, and you're being guided somewhere other than the truth being openly, freely given to you.
Boom.
That's what's going on.
I think that's the mic drop. We'll leave it on. Thank you so much, chat, and everyone watching. Light, love, and truth. But find that truth from your friends. Find that truth within. Let's not rely on the dang government to get it. Good night, everyone.